Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Hello, my name is Kenny. How's it going? I'm also from PG County, Maryland.
Oh, awesome.
Hey.
Awesome.
Shout out
awesome.
to City of Praise.
Hey, my man, yes.
One thing that I really want to commend you guys on is you show DC and the DMV area in a different light. A lot of times you see, the White House, the Capitol, et cetera, but how did you decide on location shots? Because I was like, oh my God, that's Upper Marlboro, that's Largo, that's U Street, that's 8th Street. How did you guys decide, where to shoot? Because that was amazing.
That's where we grew up at.
Yeah.
So these are places we see every day. Like, all of us, whenever we didn't have to send out no addresses. Yo, come to 13th and U. We on the way. Like, everybody knew where it was. It was easy for us to film it. It was beautiful.
In a way where that we filmed in D.C. at 2 churches that were back to back. Okay. So a lot of stuff that you saw, we were literally in one church, and then we could go out the back door, and then through the other church's back door to film. So cool. God made a way where there was no way.
There you go. There you go. Charles Herbert Flowers, class of 06.
Oh, Flowers, man, come here, bro. Come here, man. Flowers High School, man. Oh, class of 09, baby. Good to see you, man. Thank you, bro. My man.
God bless you. Awesome production. I'm going to touch and agree with all of you for a minimum of 3,000 screens.
Wow. Praise
minimum
God.
of 3,000 screens, and
Praise
for
God.
the international distribution as well. Just would like to know if there's any way that I can potentially do some work with you at some juncture.
Yes, Kenny, this is a guy right here, Kenny Hilliard. Find him after, get him your contact. And then he'll make sure, let you know, sinnerswanted.com as well. If anybody in here wants to work with us, sinnerswanted.com, there's a way you can give us your email, and we send out about our auditions, we get headshots and all that stuff. That's it.
Thank you.
I got a question. So are you going to have salvation calls at the movie theater?
See, it's a little different because we won't be there. So it's a little different, and there's not microphones and stuff like that. I wish we could. But the thing about it is, even like nowadays, sometimes millennials get ashamed of walking in front of the church. When there's an altar call, they don't want people to see them. So I think at the end of the day, it's an encounter with your heart. And I think if the film does what it's supposed to do, they'll have a change of heart. And that's all that really we want.
And people have been experiencing it and letting us know their marriages that have been reconciled after seeing this film. People saying that they're going to go back to church after seeing the film. We're just trying to plant the seed, man. And we're believing that God will do the rest. You hear what I'm saying? But y'all, ask them some questions too. They work really hard on
these
this
are the
film.
ones. Yeah, these are the ones y'all want to talk to. We didn't do anything.
I also, again, don't really have a question. I just wanted to kind of say, the movie was great. I actually had a friend of mine. We also PG residents, me and my little sister.
Wow.
We just moved here from there about 2
blessing.
weeks ago to pretty much pursue this acting dream of ours. So it was kind of the same
Do you
thing.
go to church?
Yes, we do.
What
we
church y'all go
from
to?
the heart of Atlanta.
But where y'all from the heart of Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the one at PG is our home. We haven't really joined that one.
Okay.
For the most part, we kind of just, because they stream the service, so we kind of watch it. Okay. But
well, this is a good church to get plugged into as well if you are going to be in Atlanta. It's a great pastor that is here, that radical pastor, something like Pastor Shepard. It's probably better than Pastor Shepard by the name of Pastor Dr. Jamal Bryant, who is in the house. So get plugged in at a local church and you hear it.
For sure. That's a big piece, especially coming out here. I know for me personally, I had major anxiety and fears coming out here, especially with my little sister. It's like, I'm responsible for her in a way. So it's like coming here and everything moving as smooth as it has, and it's been nothing but God. Amen. But and I'm grateful for it. But again, part of me coming up here was kind of, as the gentleman said before, I'm interested. I like what you're doing, what you guys are doing here, and I'm interested. And we are interested.
And I want Clifton, if you can, talk about taking a chance and acting, facing your fears, getting to where you were to kind of inspire him. He's a young filmmaker. What would you say to him? A young actor.
The first thing I say to young people is get some training. Get some training. And my father used to always tell me, you have to have faith the size of a mustard seed. So I think sometimes people try to have too much faith. You don't need this much faith. I was the worst actor in my program at Duke Ellington. My class started the first class at Duke Ellington back in 1972, 73. And this is not what I chose for myself. So I worked hard. I work hard. A lot of people want to be in this business, a tough business. It's better than it used to be. It used to be 3 networks. Now it's like 50,000 of them. You got to be a creator. First thing is training. The second thing is, Lamont will tell you, is faith. Faith. I don't believe in, there's a book you need to get called The Courage to Create. And then I think it's the greatest salesman in the world's greatest salesman. In sales, no means yes. So you got to really, really just be determined. So people text on DM and like, you work all the time, but I had 20 years straight unemployment. Most people after 20 years are going to quit. So if you add those as training, faith, and determination, and don't listen to nobody. Don't, go on, y'all can clap on that. Don't listen to nobody but the Spirit. So many people told me, you're not ready, you're not this. So you got, a lot of times young people want to start out and do this, and you're not trained. Don't get caught up in reality television. I'm not knocking anybody that does reality television. We'll watch it, but this is a longevity journey. And if you're not trained, you're going to fall off that train. Because at some point, you got to go in. Back in my day, you had to go in a room. Now you get on tape. You got to be able to go in, and you got to hit your mark, and you got to be able to perform after you're famous or after you got the heat around your name. You got to go in, and you got to book that next job. And if you're not trained, it's just not going to happen.
Good. My man, little man right here. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hey, you
Hello,
look like an actor, sir. You look like a superstar.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Anthony. I have 2 questions, if you don't mind. My first question is, where in Washington, D.C., like what church in Washington, D.C. did you go to?
Do we go to it? Do we go to it? Did we film at?
No.
Or did we grow up in? It's a church called the First Baptist Church in Glenarden, where their pastor is Pastor John K. Jenkins, and he's our father. And it's a church just like this. This one a little bigger, but it's just like this. And we learned a lot from that church. You got 2 questions.
Yeah. Second question is, so you might see me on TV too. You might. I'll invite you in my movie too.
Okay.
What's the question?
Well, the question is who died? Where did he get shot? In the chest or in the heart?
We want to know where you got shot in the back. He got shot in the back.
Oh, I took 2 in the back, buddy.
But it was.
Why, Kenny, why?
It was all because of God's love. At the end of the day, it was a testimony of God's love. The sacrifice that Jesus Christ made for our sins, it was the same type of sacrifice that Leo made for Ginger in that same sense.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We don't want nothing like that happening to you, you hear me?
I got it.
Stay out of trouble, stay far away from trouble too. Or else we coming for you.
Hello. Very wonderful. It was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. Little predictable, however, it was a real good movie, a tearjerker. And my question is, out of all 66 books, why the book of Hosea?
Well, the story it came to my brother as an idea from a young lady named Ariel Holton that used to work with us. She was in some of our plays and production. She said, you should read the book of Hosea and think about doing a production on it. So we read the book, and I feel for the time right now with the world, not even just church, but the world, people need to know what God's love looks like. And, you know, we, like Jimmy was saying, we grew up in church, so we know what it's like to be shunned. We know what it's like to be looked at funny. When they come in, we smelling like weed, bunch of tattoos, tight dresses on, short dresses on, because some people just don't know. And you can't just correct somebody without having a relationship with somebody. So Hosea and Gomer, the fact that Hosea, if you read the book, he went and got her time after time,
Just like God does.
after time, after time, after time. And that's what God did for me. Because I done messed up a couple times. I done messed up before I got in here. I done messed up. And it's a continual thing, God's grace. So we thought that was good for today.
Okay.
It's a right now kind of word. It's a right now thing for people. Amen? So
Amen.
that's why we chose the book.
We'll continue to do the good work, okay? God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Hi, I enjoyed the show. My question is, what would you say to a current producer that has been broken in the church, that has been broken with the industry itself in video editing and serving in the church, to keep that passion alive, to keep producing, to keep doing documentaries? What would you say to that person?
Ladies first.
Yeah, I think the reality is in any situation, when you start feeling down and you feel like, you don't know what to do, you have to find that circle. I call it like my business circle. And those are a group of people that I go to for encouragement. We encourage each other. And so when we leave, you and we can connect. I can talk to you, but I always have a group of people behind me pushing me and telling me, hey, you need to connect with this person here. You need to attend a lot of events, and not just in church, outside of church as well. But just know that you can do it. I met Josh and Jimmy literally in July, and by September, we were getting ready to film Sinners Wanted. So, they told me they had been working on this for 4 to 5 years, and they met me, and it happened within a couple of months. So just don't give up.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello, I'm a recent graduate from Georgia Southern University in theater performance, and I'm born and raised in this church. So, my question is for the character Gigi. Oh, first of all, great film. My question is for the character actress Gigi. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Ginger. I'm sorry. Both. Being an actor, I know that there are certain methods. What was your process like when you didn't have any clothes on and you were naked? What did you go through mentally? Like, how did you prepare yourself for that?
Okay, so, well, for the sake of filming, I did have on clothes.
Yeah, I figured you were.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. My whole thing is always to never judge my character. I like to really connect with them on a human level. So I definitely will see what parallels I can find with the character as far as anything that I've maybe have gone through. So if, Gigi was lost, when is the time when I was lost? You know what I mean? If she was alone, if she was hurting, whatever those things were, when did she feel, the most vulnerable? When did I feel the most vulnerable? And so I try to make that connect so that we run parallel so that hopefully it can be as truthful as possible.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Vincent Harrison, and I'm a Teamster here in Atlanta, and I just want to tell you guys thank you so much. I'm working on a project called Robbie right now, and I don't see us as much, and I want to thank you so much for producing and writing and acting and keeping us at the forefront. Keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully I'll be working on your production next.
Young ma'am, you sat down. Did you? We didn't forget about you.
I was hosting the mic.
Oh, you were. Okay, well, you up there now. I done put you on blast. My fault. I'm sorry. I was trying to be a gentleman and not forget about you.
I appreciate that. And I did want to say, I do have a comment.
See?
That I was absolutely blown away by the true authenticity of the journey that both Gigi and the pastor from small children. And one of the things that affects us today as adults happened back then.
All the time.
So, and the betrayal, but the forgiveness, because God created us all, and he loves us all, and I love you. God bless you.
I think she understands what the film was about, pretty much, right? But I mean, if I can jump in, I think that's an interesting, point. I mean, I think that particular theme is, I think what really spoke to me about this project is really healing. And I think when you think about healing in general, we can call it all kind of different things. We can call it God's grace. We can call it, resolution. We can call it, even love of yourself. I mean, it's all really connected to healing. And I think sometimes, unfortunately, the way we can often attempt to achieve healing isn't always the healthiest way to do so. Or we try to only say, okay, God, take care of it. I'm going to go continue to do whatever I want to do, right? And then we don't have the discipline or obedience to do our part. And we just expect everything to just be, again, we also expect things to be fixed. Being healed doesn't mean you're fixed. And not being healed doesn't mean you're broken. It's a process of evolution and salvation that we're talking about. It's a process. And one of the hardest things to do is to go backwards first before you can even go forward. So for everybody in here who hasn't gone backward yet, you got to take however so many steps you need to go back before you can leap forward, because that shame, that guilt, that lack of self-love, that being disconnected from your purpose and what your real power and the real essence and the identity that that we have, that we're all formed and foiled with, it's out of your grasp, because you got to go through it. And you got to go through it before you can get to it. There's no other way to do it. And the sooner you get to it, the sooner you get through it. But we just kind of want to let's go through the motions and think this stuff is just going to happen. It's just going to fall out the sky, fall on our laps, and everything's going to be okay. But the work is daily work. It's this daily spiritual relationship that we're talking about. It's an ongoing conversation. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what you started with, it don't matter what you end with, because you can't take none of it with you. So if you're not waking up every day to go do the work and give it away, you got a problem, because it ain't even about you and it ain't for you. So this story ain't about us. We're not up here like, I don't need this attention. I don't even want it. But I've had this attention since I was born. So the thing about it, even for me, was like, why y'all keep putting me up here? I don't want to be sitting up here. But at some point, you're like, okay, what is God asking me to do? Right? And Cliff and I both went to the same high school. I'm a little younger than him. But again, like, it takes powerful brothers like this, and we didn't even know that till years later, after being in a relationship with each other. We keep popping up and like, yo, what's up? Man, I dig you. Oh, you from round the way? Oh, what's up? And then it still took more conversations to be like, what? Went to the same school? Oh, so you was kicking down doors before I even knew that door was there. I never saw the door because Cliff kicked it in for me. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta you understand that the work that we're all doing is for somebody else to run through it, after you, right? And then we get up here and you come up here. The way we were trained at Ellington is when you're up here, you come up here to give something away. The truest form of art, it doesn't matter what cultural art form you really study. If you study most cultural art forms from across the planet, they all started, mostly, it was some kind of spiritual ritual that all of this comes from, all of it. So when we up here, most of the time, we channeling something else. Y'all see me on Greenleaf, I don't even remember half of what I did. I don't know, right? But I'm saying in the moment, and after there's cut, they're like, all right, moving on. I'm like, well, yeah, I guess that was all right. I trust that I remember my lines, but I'm in the moment. That was Jacob. That wasn't me. And I leave it alone and let people do their part, and you keep it moving. But we in there trying to work to show, again, that nobody's perfect. Even when you're in the business of faith, even when you have the responsibility and the obedience of being faith leaders, of a faith family, right? Y'all know. These are Jacobs right here, you know what I mean? So it's like that's who I'm doing that work for. I'm doing that work to show people what black fatherhood looks like, right? And even though Carissa and Jacob got their problems, they trying to work through it. They should have never been married in the first place, okay? Seriously, but that's Lady May manipulating us to make sure I do what she tell me to do, only for it to blow up in all our faces anyway, right? But the point is to show that these are really beautiful people, more so on the inside than on the outside. But regardless of that, until you deal with the truth, nothing is going to really work the way it's supposed to, because you're not dealing with the truth. You're not owning your mess. That's really what the network, well, I think the network is called Own. Own your mess. Stop judging other people. Get your act together and do the best you can to be the best you can, and then bring out the best in other people through this incredible spiritual force that controls and has domain over everything and everybody. And it works through all of us. I mean, this is the kingdom right here. It's you. I mean, this is why we do this, to be able to look in your eyes and speak to you and do this work that has value to us. But in essence, we hope that by us doing what we do, being given the gifts and the tools that we have, that we speak to the God in you, and this light just multiplies and continues to be just exponential. You know what I'm saying? So, so just continue to stay connected to each other and to this work, whatever your voice is, whatever training you need. I actually been doing Greenleaf here for 4 years. I teach and train here. So for some of y'all who's serious about doing this, whether you've been training already or you haven't before, come holler at me. And we can talk about where and how to do more of that. But I have a nonprofit. We've been doing that for 10 years, and now 2 of my other partners are here. We've been teaching here together for a couple years now, making sure Atlanta gets coached up so that all the talent don't come from DC, LA, New York, Chicago. Atlanta, y'all gotta be ready. You gotta get coached up, all right? So we appreciate y'all. Thanks so much for having us. Thanks for having me. Thanks for all the Greenleaf love. All right. Sorry, this had to be Triumph, and we're not here no more. But you never know. We might be back. We coming back? We coming back, brother? All right. What's up? Good to see you, baby. How you?
So, Dr. Brian, before we pass it over to you, we want to acknowledge our executive producers in the building, Don Lee, Jerry Vines. Where are you? Can't see back out there. Okay. And then any cast members, can you stand up real quick? And crew, cast members and crew, just pop up real quick. We just want to acknowledge you and say thank you. Please give them a round.
Wolf. Wolf's right there. Elder Robert's right there. Mother Mildred's in the back. Sister Doris. And there's our costume designer. Biombi's here. Okay.
Yeah. No, Dr. Brian, we're passing it off to you.
Bless the Lord. Would you stand to your feet, please? Would you give an amazing applause to all of the cast crew? Now, before you got saved, you was out way later than this on Saturday night. Stop it. Don't act like you tired. You got 12 hours before you back here tomorrow. One service only at 9:30. Would you lift up your hand, please? Thank you for showing up tonight. I told the Jenkins brothers I was a nervous wreck. This is our first time doing something like this. New Birth, you stood up in an amazing way. Would you give yourselves a big hand? Lift up that hand. Your pastor loved you. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming out on tonight. Now unto him who's absolutely able to do anything but fail, may God make you sleepless till you help somebody. May God make you restless until you help yourself. May God irritate you until you have enough sense to worship him. And may God bless you until you have to give stuff away. Henceforth, now, and forevermore. And all the people of God said, amen. Would you hug 3 people on your way out? Tell them you've been redeemed. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:30.